Welcome back to The Eager Cyclist. So for this film on the channel, we're going on a journey along the C4 cycle route, and I'm starting my journey near Deptford or Deptford Creek, which is currently where the C4 begins, and I'm following the route all the way into town. So I'm going to finish my journey on Tooley Street, which you might recall from film number 2. If you've seen that film, that's a journey from Tooley Street into the City of London. Now, the C4 cycle route has been a real game changer really for cyclists riding into town from the southeast. You'll see that it's a pretty direct route, so it's a quick way to get into town. It also offers riders a degree of protection or safety because the cycle route is mainly consisting of a segregated cycle lane, which separates riders from the road. And if you watch the film until the end, you'll see more and more riders joining the route. And towards the end, as we get into central London, you'll see almost a peloton of riders, which is great to see. So I've had a few questions recently about how I plan my journeys, how I plan my routes in London. And there's a few options which I quite like. So I personally like to use the Transport for London site for route planning. I find that's generally quite good. And but I would also recommend that people check out a few other options, which I'll put in the description for this film. And one of those is the Safe Cycling in London map, which is a really helpful map which shows various cycle routes in London. And other cycling instructors that I know, they recommend the Cycle Streets app, which you can download onto any smartphone. Another source of information could be the London Cycle Routes YouTube channel, which is a fantastic YouTube channel where a rider has cycled various quiet routes in London, so you can actually see what those routes look like by watching films of the journeys. So let's take a closer look at the C4 route and things to look out for. We can see it's a fairly wide cycle lane, so it's got 2 directions. So of course, the main hazard I feel on this route are actually other riders. I've actually cycled this route with my son, who you might have seen riding with me in film 6 on the channel. And I think the main hazard for us, honestly, as we cycled into town along the route, were other riders. So when I do cycle the C4, it's important, I feel, to remind myself not to rush and just to look out for other riders. There are actually some schools along the route as well, so I have seen very young children use the route as a journey to and from school. So just important to remember to slow down and not to rush, not to ride too fast. So this section of the route is actually Surrey Quays, and there's quite a few traffic lights for riders and for the large junctions, and it is the slowest section of the route. And I do sometimes wonder if the sequencing can be improved. I think it's just important that the light sequences are proportionate. So if there's loads and loads of riders waiting, I would hope that the sequences for riders would be quicker. And conversely, if there are lots of drivers, people in cars waiting, it should be proportionate for them as well. So anyway, we're just passing Southwark Park on the left here, which is a really nice park. As you can see, the cycle lane is well surfaced, it's nice and wide, and I'm going past quite a few side roads, and you might have spotted something that I tend to try to do when I go past side roads when I'm riding in the segregated cycle lanes, and I just like to look over my shoulder just before the side roads, because of course people on the main road can come across the segregated cycle path, and I have spotted on journeys along the C4 some mistakes by people in cars, by drivers, where they aren't aware, they don't see the riders in the segregated lane. So just important to check over our shoulder. There it is, I just do a little check glance there over my left shoulder just to make sure it's clear. So along the route, of course, we're sharing space with lots of pedestrians. We've got island bus stops like the one here, and just really important that we slow down and remember that pedestrians do have priority if they're crossing the cycle lane. So if anyone's walking across the cycle lane, important that we slow down for them. Obviously, we need to wait and stop for people wanting to cross at zebra crossings, at traffic lights, they've got priority. So yeah, just important to remember the priority rules and of course the hierarchy of road users. So that concept which we spoke about in film 2 on the channel. So as we continue our journey, it's fantastic to see so many riders heading to work in the morning rush hour. And yeah, it's almost, as you'll see soon, going to be like a peloton of riders going to work, which is good to see. Now, on our journey, we're obviously always applying the 4 key skills that we've spoken about in previous films. So they are, of course, observing, so being aware of our surroundings, looking around, anticipating, responding. Here I'm just checking my shoulder, so I'm checking my shoulder to overtake this rider who's going a bit slower than me, passing them nice and wide. So that of course relates to our position, another key skill. We've got communication, so making eye contact, maybe hand signals, that kind of thing. We can also communicate through our body language, so riding past side roads like that one, we're pedaling, we're looking down them, we're looking at the faces of other people on the road. So communication is of course really key. And finally, we've got priorities. So here, of course, we've got priorities for the traffic light. So we need to slow down up ahead because it's red. And we need to look out for pedestrians. So this junction that we can see up ahead on the left is the one with Tanner Street. And Tanner Street forms part of the C14 cycle route. And yeah, we did actually feature part of that route on film 5 on the channel. So do check out film 5 if you're interested. That was a journey from just south of the Shard onto Blackfriars, taking in some nice quiet roads and some pretty good cycling infrastructure. And Blackfriars Bridge is a fantastic way to cross the Thames, one of my favourite ways to cross the Thames. So we're getting quite close to the end of our journey now, and I'm just slowing down for this next junction, and this is the junction with Tower Bridge Road. And good to see the riders adhering to the traffic light sequences there. And yeah, what I would recommend is if you're going straight ahead, as I am here, that you take a quick look to your right and you'll see fantastic views there on the right of Tower Bridge, one of the famous landmarks in London. So we're coming to the end of our journey on Tooley Street, and this is the part of the C4 cycle route where the segregated cycle lane comes to an end and we have to share the road with other road users like people in taxis or people on buses. And yeah, I hope you've enjoyed watching this film. If you haven't done so already, it would be brilliant if you could subscribe to the channel. That will help our community grow and yeah, help these films reach the widest possible audience. Anyway, that's all from me. Thanks for watching and see you at the next one.